Mr. Chairman, thank you for being here and for your testimony. Our country has a $9.2 trillion national debt, a debt which has increased $3 trillion over the past 7 years. I'm concerned that this unprecedented increase in debt, along with the long-term fiscal challenges our country faces, will hurt our country's economic future and force my 8 grandchildren, other children their age, and future generations in our country to bear the burden of the debts that we are incurring now. As our debt has grown, the United States has relied more on foreign investors to purchase our debt. In fact, foreign investors have doubled their holdings of U.S. debt since 2001. Today, they hold a substantial portion of our public debt outstanding, which increases our economy's vulnerability to potential political or economic instability from abroad. Mr. Chairman, if the federal government continues to run consistently large deficits and accumulates more debt, what impact could this have on economic growth in our future, in our country, and both in the short and long term? Would you agree that ongoing deficits are a serious threat to the health of our economy?
I do, and I think that the $9 trillion that you cite in some sense understates the problem, because it doesn't include the unfunded liabilities of these
Social Security and Medicare,
Security and Medicare, which are enormous, in fact dwarf the $9 trillion.
Yes, sir.
The fundamental thing is that we are an aging society. We are the boomers. We're going to be retiring, and our children are going to have to find a way to support us one way or another through private or public means. And we need to address that problem by finding ways to maintain long-term fiscal stability. That's a very, very tough challenge. But if we don't do that, we're going to come to a crisis at some point, because you can't grow the debt of the economy, of the government, indefinitely. Eventually, at some point, it begins to explode in some sense, and we can't continue to finance it. So the CBO, for example, has done a number of studies, different scenarios showing how the debt would increase over the next 20, 25 years, and it's not more than 2 decades away before we would be reaching levels that are really unsustainable. And we need to begin, as I said in another testimony 10 years ago, if possible, to try to address these issues.